YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Sports Culture, and I'm back with another video here today. And in this video, I just want to go over some day 2 targets for the Green Bay Packers for the 2025 NFL Draft class. It's about an hour away, an hour 20 minutes away from day 2, so gotta get this video out there pretty quick. Gonna go over like 3 to 4 players at each position: cornerback, edge, and defensive line. I don't really think we need another receiver, especially after drafting Matthew Golden in the first round. But you never know. But in this video, I'm only going to do cornerbacks, edge rushers, and interior defensive linemen. So without further ado, man, let's get right into this video. So real quick, I am on PFF, and I'm just going to click on some of these guys' player profiles and just talk about them. We will start with the cornerback position first. Will Johnson, a little bit unrealistic. Don't think it happens, but him still falling to the second round is pretty crazy. If the Packers really do like Will Johnson and they don't think the medicals are super crazy, which I guess they are because a lot of teams, they pass on him and they let him slip to the second round. But if they really do like this guy, they trade up for him. But it is unrealistic, but I did want to bring Will Johnson into this video because I had him as my number 1 quarterback in this entire draft class. Had him as a top 20 pick in this entire draft class. For him to fall out of the first round is pretty crazy to me. Next guy is Trey Amos, my number 5 ranked cornerback in this entire draft class. Great length, 6'1", 190 pounds, 23 years old. Great ball skills, really good at drawing the ball out, using his length, getting pass breakups. Really good in zone coverage, really good in man coverage, really good in press, whether that's in man or zone. Solid physical tackler, does miss here and there, but not afraid to come downhill, make some plays. Just really instinctual, very technical when guarding receivers, very sticky, like sticky coverage. This year allowed 280 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, had 3 interceptions, and a pass rating of 54.5. Boundary cornerback, we need that. Hopefully he falls to the Packers at pick 54. Maybe we trade up for him. Who knows? Next guy on this list is Benjamin Morrison, my number 4 ranked cornerback in this entire draft class. Who knows when Benjamin Morrison is going to get drafted? If Will Johnson is falling because of medical concerns that I didn't even think were a big deal, didn't even really know about that much until this week. Who knows when Benjamin Morrison is going to get drafted, because that was his biggest concern throughout this whole draft process. The hip injury, everything like that. So who knows when he's going to get drafted. But if he does fall to the Packers at pick 54, I hope we take a shot on him, man. Still very young at 21 years old, 6 foot, 190 pounds. And his man coverage, the way he's able to play on guys, but his short area distance and just quickness in a short area, and his ability to play on the ball and make plays on the ball kind of reminds me a little bit of Jair. Not saying he's Jair ceiling or anything like that, but just his short area quickness and the way he plays the ball in a short area distance reminds me of Jair. Next guy on this list is Shavon Reveal. Same thing kind of as Benjamin Morrison. He's coming off the torn ACL. You don't know when he's going to get drafted. This guy has one of the highest ceilings and athletic ceilings at the cornerback position. Great frame, great weight, 6'3", 193 pounds, 23 years old. Really good in zone coverage. I feel like in man coverage he's solid. Does get a little bit, for a guy that's super athletic, it's weird. I feel like he second guesses himself in man coverage a little bit more than when he's in zone coverage. And he is a little bit handsy when he's in man coverage. But in zone coverage, I felt like he was really, really good. I think his ceiling, just because of his athleticism, his height, the way he plays the ball, is Richard Sherman-ish. Like Richard Sherman kind of is at the next level. So who knows what he could be at the next level. I think he's one hell of a player if he can stay healthy. I love this film in 2023. Even his film in 3 games this year was phenomenal. So had to throw Shavon Reveal on this list. Don't know if the Packers go for him, but he's one hell of a player. Darian Porter, another guy with a very high athletic ceiling. Doesn't really have that much experience at the cornerback position, or I should say starting, and is older at 24 years old, but 6'4", 200 pounds. Incredible RES, score. Incredible showing at the combine. His film is really, really good, man. Allowed 5 receptions on 17 targets for 70 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a pass rating of a 4.7. Those are like my career numbers on Madden or anything like that, man. These are insane numbers. He's a really good zone coverage defender, and that's huge for this team because we played a lot of zone coverage. Darian Porter's definitely a player, in my opinion, that the Packers are going to be looking at if he falls to them at pick 54. And finally, the last cornerback on this list is Azariah Thomas. Probably, in my opinion, my personal opinion, the best man-to-man and just press-man cornerback in this entire draft class. Don't know if he's the greatest scheme fit for this team right now because we run a lot more zone coverage than man coverage, but who knows? With Jair Alexander back next year, if we draft a guy like Azariah Thomas, who knows? Maybe we'd play a lot more man coverage next year with both those guys on this team. 6'2", 198 pounds, 20 years old. And he might not have the greatest athletic ceiling or just athletic showing what he did at his combine and pro day or anything like that. But when you watch this guy on film, man, and he's able to play on man coverage, he's very physical. He's on guys, and he moves very well for somebody his size, man. He kind of glides on the football field. Now, his recovery speed and just his long speed in general isn't the greatest, but he really doesn't get beat like that, at least on film at the collegiate level, to where he had to showcase that type of recovery speed or how to use it. But really, really good man coverage defender, solid zone coverage defender. Used to be a wide receiver, so you know the ball skills are there, but quarterbacks just don't really throw his way because he's a lockdown cornerback. So Azariah Thomas is the last cornerback on this list. So now we get to the edge position, and this video should go way faster. The cornerback position is very deep in the second round. First guy on this list is Donovan Nzaraku, and he's maybe not the greatest 4-3 defensive scheme fit for the Green Bay Packers, but he's from Boston College, has the connection with Jeff Hafley. And I really mean it, man. This dude is probably the most polished or one of the most polished pass rushers in this entire draft class. And I know for a fact he uses his hands the best when it comes to pass rushing. Maybe not the biggest dude, like I said, at 6'2", 240 pounds. But he has an insane wingspan for the position. And he uses his hands very, very well. Always makes contact first with offensive linemen and just people in general with his hands. Has great hand usage. Hand placement's phenomenal. Very quick hands, very powerful hands, and when he's able to get his hands on guys, is able to drive on them. Has a lot of moves in his pass rush arsenal. Had 14 sacks this year, 20 quarterback hits, 26 quarterback hurries. Is still very young, 6'2", 247, and 21 years old. So I think he's one hell of a player. Don't think he's really a 4-3 defensive end, but if the Packers want to take a shot on him, they're getting an elite pass rusher. Next guy on this list is JTT, and I'm going to call him JT or JTT because I always butcher his last name. But JT is a edge rusher from Ohio State, and I prefer him over Jack Sawyer, at least at the next level for this Green Bay Packers team. He's a bigger pass rusher, definitely fits the 4-3 defensive scheme. I think he's like 6'5"-ish, 6'5", 269-ish, 21 years old, very young still. Will be 22 once the NFL season starts, but has a quick first step. Has some power, some really good power to his game. Doesn't really have a lot of pass rush moves per se, but he has some solid moves in his game. Is a little bit stiff at times. Can play a little high too as well, but hand placement solid. Has some power to his game. Quick first step. Really solid run defender. Only 21 years old. And this is just another guy to bring into that room and give us some more depth when it comes to that edge rush position. Had 15 sacks this year. Had 14 quarterback hits. 22 hurries, 1 better pass, and was a part of that national winning championship for the Ohio State Buckeyes this year. So, really think he's a solid pick. I don't know how many Packer fans would be too thrilled with this pick. I know I'd be pretty happy with it because I think this guy would be a very solid contributor day one for us. Last pass rusher on this list is Elijah Roberts, and he's somebody I really start to like a lot more through the later draft process. 6'4", 290-ish. Around 22 years old. Think he turns 23 once the NFL season starts, though. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And he's been productive, man. 8 sacks this year, 7 quarterback hits, 45 hurries, and 2 better passes. The previous year, 13 sacks, 11 hits, 47 hurries, and 1 better pass. He's a big body edge rusher, man. He's a dude that has some really good power, has a solid quick first step. Once he gets his hands on guys and makes contact with you with his hands, and he's able to drive on you, you better hold on, man, because he's going to take you for a ride. That sounded wrong, but you know what I meant. Really, really good pass rusher. Do think he could work better on the run, especially for a guy that's bigger his size. Do think he could play the run a little bit better, but pass rush-wise, has really good power to his game, has good hand usage. Do think he's a little bit stiff at times when he's coming off the ball, and his quick first step could be a little bit inconsistent, or his fastness or his quickness off the ball could be a little bit inconsistent, but really do like him a lot for this team. We need another pass rusher. And Elijah Roberts is the guy that I think, brings a lot more of what we have in that room. Just more power rushing, more guys that can bull rush and just take you for a ride. Pause. But Elijah Roberts had to be on this list. Really do like him for this team in the later rounds. Probably even pick 87 or even early round 4. Who knows? First defensive lineman on this list is Darius Alexander, first interior defensive lineman. A little bit unrealistic because I do think he's going to get drafted super early, beginning of round 2. This guy's a very good player. One of the better run defenders. and somebody that has a really high ceiling as a pass rusher at the next level. Super athletic, 6'4", 310, and he moves very, very well. Had 4 sacks this year, 8 quarterback hits, 25 hurries, and 3 batted passes. The previous year, 7 sacks, 9 hits, 30 hurries, and 3 batted passes. So, really do like him a lot. If he falls to the Packers at pick 54, I hope this is his selection because I think that'd be insane value. But I do think he gets drafted very early on at the beginning of round 2. TJ Sanders is a guy that I think is very realistic for this team. And he's a guy that I really do like a lot in this draft class. Had him for a while as a top 5 defensive lineman in this draft class. But the more and more I watch some other guys, he kind of just slipped out. But I really do like him a lot in this draft class. Have him as my number 6 defensive tackle in this year's draft class. The dude is very athletic. 6'4", 290 pounds, 21 years old, very young. And he has a quick first step off the line. Has some really good power and violency with his hand placement, just hand usage in general. Think he's somebody that can only get better at the next level when it comes to pass rushing. As a run defender, very solid. Really do like him for this team. Do think it's a very realistic option for the Packers. And the last prospect on this entire video, and somebody that I think is very realistic for the Packers in day 2, is CJ West. Now, this is not the biggest dude height-wise or arm length-wise at the defensive line position, but mass-wise, around like 315, 320-ish, he's a big fella in the middle. That's very good against the run. And as a pass rusher, I think at the next level, he's only going to get better. On film, he has a quick first step, has solid hand usage, has quick hands for a big dude, has some power in his hands. Put him in a room with guys like Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks. He's only going to get better when it comes to pass rushing from the interior. We need somebody that can fill that TJ Slaton role. And although he's not as big as TJ Slaton, I do think he has these same abilities when it comes to stopping the run as a TJ Slaton, and even a little bit more upside as a pass rusher. So I really do like this pick for the Packers in day 2. Hopefully, him or TJ Sanders or one of these defensive linemen or any of these guys I listed on this entire video do get drafted by the Packers in day 2.